You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the local media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots. I think I already said that, but yeah, you know something? It's not Monday, but it is live radio, and we do try and connect the dots so that you know what you're talking about, even if I don't know what I'm talking about. But sometimes we just have a little bit of fun here and go with it. If you were listening to us or not listening to us yesterday, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. If you weren't listening to us yesterday, shame on you. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. I want to chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest and repeat offender. Welcome back, Jay Burris, Visit Anaheim. Welcome.
Hello, Ron. Great to be here. Great to celebrate National Travel and Tourism Week with you.
Yeah, it's fun. Everyone likes to travel. Most everyone. If you don't, what's wrong with you? But we're going to talk about it and enjoy ourselves, learn a little bit maybe. You always learn something when you're here. So we're going to get into travel and tourism and Anaheim and a lot more. Let me remind you, though, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money. I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. There's a lot to celebrate today. National Home Front Heroes Day. We love our heroes. National Lost Sock Memorial Day. I don't want to hear about where you lost your socks. Sometimes it's fun, though, to get stories on where socks were lost and sometimes where they're found. Sometimes it's not fun to hear about that. National Sleepover Day. Alphabet Magnet. Do they even still have alphabet magnets? Do they, Josh? Okay. I'm old, so I don't know if my refrigerator, the front of it even holds magnets. Got it on the side. Remember those alphabet magnets? Do you remember those, Jay?
Absolutely.
Yeah, got the alphabet on there, and the kids play with it, and we'll move right along. National Butterscotch Brownie Day. I've beaten anorexia, so I can have one of those. That looks pretty good. And I don't know about this one. Josh, I'm gonna say it, but I don't know about this one. National Moscato Day.
It is what it is.
I've dealt with wine. I love wine. I've got a pretty good sized collection of wine. I don't have much Moscato in our collection. A lot of people will understand that. If you've ever had Moscato, I tried finding a good bottle of Moscato. I shouldn't say this because some of my family likes Moscato. But we're trying to convert them into good wine. Just throw that out there. Let's take a look and see what the markets are doing today. Do we want to see what the markets are doing today? Dow Jones Industrial Average down 61 points. The S&P 500 is down 18. The NASDAQ is down 81. Oil is down $1.36 a barrel, and the 10-year Treasury is up a basis point. Not a whole lot going on there. There's still time, Mr. President, if you will wake up and fill the strategic petroleum reserves. You said under 80. We're at 71.83 right now per barrel of oil. So I know you'll probably want to wait until it goes a little higher to fill up those petroleum reserves. But we'll hold out hope that you might wake up. Let's see. California gas prices, $4.82 a gallon. Let's go around the horn. Let's see what the team's paying for gas. Josh, You're down a little bit. $4.22 a gallon is what you get out there in Arizona. Jody's at $4.69 a gallon. I'm sorry, Josh is in Nevada. Sorry about that. Jody's at $4.69 in Arizona. Brittany's at $3.42. Britt, might have to go to Colorado to get some gasoline, or we can go see Lori out there in Louisiana. $3.10 a gallon of gasoline. $3.10. Jay, you're going to bet $3.06 is Texas.
Nice.
$3.06. Oil producing state of Hawaii. Oh, wait, they don't produce oil in Hawaii. $4.77 a gallon. So they're cheaper for gasoline in Hawaii than they are here in the formerly Golden State. Unbelievable. Thank goodness. Well, I guess we're going to get some electric cars or something like that. Let's keep moving along and see what's going on in the world right now. So we've been talking to you about CPI. It's coming out tomorrow. I told you that the numbers were going to get better for us tomorrow, but there's been a slight problem in what we're seeing in the CPI numbers. Well, the Bureau of Labor Statistics over the weekend changed the numbers. Does that surprise anybody?
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
So they revised numbers from last year. They revised the April core CPI numbers from last year. So we're not going to get as good a number as we expected, but we'll still see some benefits. So and hopefully, home prices or home mortgage rates follow the core CPI. They don't, one doesn't set the other, but when CPI goes up, mortgage rates go up. When CPI goes down, mortgage rates go down. But we're still seeing massive price increases in certain areas. I was just talking to a real estate agent yesterday, talking about Newport Beach. 2 properties, Newport Beach. Both of them had multiple offers over the weekend, and the only offers they were going to entertain were all cash. Think about that. Now, let me ask you this question, and I get this, that all cash offers pretty much always close, right? They don't have to worry about that. But does it really matter? Because at the end of escrow, you're going to get all cash. Regardless of whether there's a loan or a down payment or no down payment, the seller gets all cash. It's a wire transfer at the close of escrow. So what is the benefit of going and looking only at the cash offers? But you know something? Some of the agents we work with, they like that idea. So just throwing that out there, going to give you that information. More information coming out of Washington. Yeah, breaking news. The Waste of Time Summit will be held today. Joe Biden, Chuck Schumer will get in there. Hakeem Jeffries and Paul McCarthy will all be there to talk about the debt limit. Now, think about this concept. They want to raise the debt limit. Wouldn't you like the ability to just say, I want to raise my credit card limit and do it on my own? I already spent the money, so let me just raise the limit. Well, this year, they were looking at the numbers, $4 trillion budget deficit. $4 trillion in 1 year. Can you imagine that? Now, could you imagine trying to balance your own household budget? Now, the Republicans have put together some ideas on how to solve the problem. So, unfortunately, the president hasn't been awake. He didn't realize that there's a bill that's already passed the House of Representatives. And I mentioned this about the president sleeping all the time. And, I do think that we have to respect the office. But have you seen his schedule lately? Well, it's pretty simple. I have it memorized. There's nothing on there. That's the official presidential schedule. Nothing. And it goes for days on end, and then he goes on vacation. So what are you going on vacation from? I mean, it's not like he lives in Anaheim where we can go to an amusement park every day on vacation, right? He's in Washington. He doesn't even go to the Smithsonian. He leaves to go to Delaware. Now, I'm not poo-pooing Delaware, but is that where you want to go on vacation? I'm just throwing that out there. And the president goes there every weekend. So just throw that. Maybe we can get a debt limit deal, maybe a spending deal. Just, maybe get on a little bit of a budget here. Tighten your belt. Oh, well, it is what it is. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we're going to chat about National Tourism Week, why today's housing market is not about to crash, a guide to buying a home near a school. Should you do it? All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. And I still have to stutter at that one because until about 2 weeks ago, they had a 35% market share, and now they're at 42% market share. Let's see what the rates did yesterday. We don't know the APRs. We don't know points paid or points received, but we know what the rates were because that's what they tell us. 30-year conforming, 6.435. That was up a little bit. 30-year jumbo, 6.539, down nicely. 30-year FHA loan, pretty flat at 6.381. USDA loans, that's for the rural areas. Generally, no down payment, 6.415. And I don't want to report this one, but I will. It's the best loan on the market, and it went up yesterday. This is the 30-year VA loan, went to 6.104. Can't just apply for that one. You have to earn it. And our veterans, every one of them, they've earned it. We appreciate the service. Let's see what's going on. The 10-year Treasury flat. S&P 500 down 18.24. Mortgage-backed securities are down 20 basis points, which is not good news. That means interest rates are going up again. Yeah. So we're going to see that inflation number tomorrow. I told you about that a little bit in the last segment. Senior Loan Officer Survey, the Fed's Senior Loan Officer Survey, which was done around a month after the Silicon Valley Bank collapsed, and there are more banks going to collapse coming up, so we know that's going, showed that lending continued to tighten. Banks most frequently cited an expected deterioration in the credit quality of their loan portfolios and in customers' collateral values, a reduction in risk tolerance, and concerns about bank funding costs, bank liquidity position, and the deposit outflows. They leave the headline till the end in that one, right? Because we know the problem is the bank outflows and their liquidity because of the mark-to-market problems that they're having, and the Federal Reserve causing all of them. If they hadn't raised interest rates so fast, in such a short, so fast, we wouldn't have had that problem. Think about this. It took from 1940 until about 1980 for the Fed to double interest rates. Oh, yeah, and they did that from April until December of last year. NFIB, Small Business Optimism Index, that's not a good one. Survey fell to the weakest level in over 10 years, with almost all of the components weakening. On inflation, compensation plans and higher selling prices moderated. The earnings outlook, capital spending plans, and those that expect higher sales all dropped. Those that expected a better economy fell to near the lowest level on record. I think we got a slower economy coming, but something, we're going to watch it. That'll help our housing and it'll help our interest rates. And even though Jay Powell made the comment that he's not going to cut interest rates, we know the truth, right? I mean, we know Powell will be cutting interest rates. Oh, sorry, don't.
Idiot.
It's our Fed chairman. You can't say, well, I guess you can if it's accurate. I mean, if he would have increased interest rates 3 years ago, he could have done it a little bit and not done what he's doing now and breaking the economy. Have you ever noticed that the Federal Reserve, they never, ever do things accurately, right? They always overdo it. And I always have fun listening to these things because I did go to Chapman College and I was on, I think, the third or fourth economic forecast that they did at the school. I think there's somewhere around the 40th now. I guess I'm old. And, they go too far. They watch this at Chapman and they'll talk about the idea that they don't want, they think they can turn a ship overnight. And it doesn't work that way. You raise interest rates that much, we're not going to feel the effect of those changes until the end of this year. Yeah, and that'll be when we're in a recession. So we're heading that way. But remember, when you're thinking about real estate, home values increase during a recession. Interest rates decrease during a recession. If you're wanting to buy a house and you enjoyed being outbid in January of last year, just wait. You'll be able to do that again by the end of this year. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. See, I leave it on a good note because real estate values are going to go up, interest rates are going to go down, and then you can go on vacation. Where are you going to go on vacation? Let's talk to Jay Burris. Visit Anaheim. Welcome.
Good morning. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. So now you usually come in here and talk so local. Not loco, but local.
Both.
And now we're going to talk about national tourism.
It is. We're very excited about it. Of course, Anaheim is tourism.
Absolutely.
And so to celebrate that on a national basis is fantastic. It's the 40th celebration that we've had in this country for National Travel and Tourism Week. And we're spotlighting a different feature of Anaheim this year, and that's with sports travel. And I was on here last time talking about the amateur sports market. Now we're talking about those fans that travel to see their teams play, and that's a big market for Anaheim.
Is it a big market? Is it the question though? Is it going to be a temporary market? I don't know, because we got.
Well, they do have a season, but
we got the arguably the two best players in all of baseball are in Anaheim.
I was driving a lot of it right now. We've seen a great increase in our Japanese visitation because of Mr. Otani. So it is
So I
great
guess-
to see.
Can we say that we've got the two best players or the three? Because we've got the best hitter in baseball, Shohei Ohtani. We've got the best pitcher in baseball, Shohei Ohtani. And we've got the best center fielder in baseball, and Mike Trout.
Let's go
So-
with 3. It brings the fans in.
Yeah, something, and it's probably does a much better job. I think for the teams, the pitcher's probably the best place, but for tourism, the hitter's probably better, right? Because you were mentioning that in the break, one of you mentioned that went into the game on Sunday and he had a lot of Japanese tourists. Well, they can go and see him on Sunday, but if he was just a pitcher, they'd only see him once a week.
That's exactly right. Having best of both worlds with that, and just seeing both on the field was fantastic.
It's amazing. And what is it? The only one that we've seen ever since, the closest I've seen in my lifetime was Bo Jackson, right? But he wasn't doing it, the same day, other than a couple trips that he made where he played football and baseball on the same day. But it's just amazing.
It's amazing to be able to do both of them. Not since Babe Ruth, I think, to have had a pitcher and a hitter of that caliber.
I don't remember him though. I
No,
read the
books.
stories,
I've read books.
right? So how I don't understand this, Jay, and maybe you can help us understand from a business standpoint. How can you quantify the value a player brings to an area or a sport? If you're talking, professional sports, and you see that, Oakland's about to lose the A's because they were not building a new stadium or whatever their things are. I don't know what they are. It doesn't matter. But how do you quantify the value that a team is going to bring to a city?
I think it's receipts, obviously the ticket sales, but then you got the sponsorships in the stadium. If you go to the stadium now, you'll see a lot of these Japanese companies that are sponsoring billboards and so forth in the stadium, but also the ancillary spend. They're spending the night in the hotels. They're going to our restaurants. They're using our transportation, going to our retail outlets. You see all these fans walking around town with huge bags of Angels gear that they're buying when they're coming to visit the team. The same with the Ducks. Hockey has a very passionate following as well.
So does the city generate, was it sales tax revenue from those things? Is that
sales tax and occupancy tax in the hotels?
Okay. So it's a big business.
It is big business, and it's one of our key drivers for tourism in Anaheim.
And you're mentioning Anaheim is going to try and be part of the Olympics too?
Well, part of the Olympics, the Honda Center is part of the Olympic Games in 28. They'll house the men's or the volleyball competition. Of course, when the Olympics was in LA before, was that 84?
84.
Wrestling was in the arena at the convention center. So we've had Olympic events here before, and at least have that one in 28 when the LA Games are held. So we're excited about that, and the development all around the Honda Center will be completed by then. OC Vibe will be completed. So
what is OC Vibe?
OC Vibe is a fantastic development that breaks ground this year. It's very, very exciting all around the Honda Center, including Arctic. But it's retail development, it's housing, it is mixed use development, it's outdoor spaces, it's entertainment venues. It's going to be fantastic, and including 2 hotels that will be built there. So that will be, right there all around the Honda Center. With the Olympics going on there, it'll be a great attraction for people to come to spend time and spend their money while they're here.
We like that idea of spending money.
We do.
It helps everybody in the city, so we don't have to tax the residents as much when you've got all this tourism coming.
Well, it does. It goes into the general fund, and that helps fund everything from our libraries to our public safety to our waste management to all those things that are paid for out of the general fund. So we like more and more TOT coming in. Of course, the TID, the Tourism Improvement District, which is paid, which funds our operation to go right back into marketing the destination for more visitation.
So when you're talking about the marketing there, is it domestic or is it international? What are you seeing, Jay?
Well, we've seen the domestic market come back really strong. I mean, that's fantastic. 22 had a higher number than 2019 for overall visitation. Where we're seeing a slower comeback is with the international visitation and also with the convention and group market, which is really starting to pick up some speed. We got some great shows in Anaheim, but in the international market, we've seen Canada and Mexico are coming back. We're seeing other markets that'll come back. And now Japan has become number 3 in our international visitation. And I think we know why that's happening. So it's exciting.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So that's a real push of ours, is to bring back that international market, specifically from those regions, as well as Australia, New Zealand, some of the other great feeder markets. But Mexico, Canada, and Japan are going pretty strong right now.
it's good. It's good to see a lot of this coming in here and bringing more people to see the city, see the state. It adds a lot to the value of everything we're doing. I mean, and the jobs, got to be bringing a lot of jobs into the area.
Jobs are coming back. We were about 180,000 jobs in Orange County in tourism pre-COVID, and now we're creeping back up to that number. There's still a lot of open jobs in our marketplace. So if you're looking for something, tourism is a great career to get involved at whatever level and move up within the industry. But there's great jobs. There's impact throughout. Once they come, especially internationally, they're not just staying here. They're going to keep moving around the county, around the state, and it's a great economic impact for everyone all over the state. So
I like that idea of what you made, the comment you made. I want to talk about that when we come back. But the idea of getting a job as a starter and entry level, but you're not limited to that. There's a lot of upward mobility.
Absolutely.
Once you get into leisure and hospitality.
Absolutely. That's one of the beautiful things about this industry is the upward mobility, but also it's the largest crossover industry, I think, out there. But it's not just your front desk people or your waiter staff or your chef. It is everything from sports marketing, communications, accounting, technology. It's everything touches tourism.
Got to touch it all. When we come back, we're going to continue our conversation with Jay Burris. Visit Anaheim. Love chatting and learning. We'll also talk why today's housing market is not about to crash. And if we have time, we'll get to a guide to buying a home near a school. But sometimes I talk a lot. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. RSRNoDebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. RSRNoDebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Why today's housing market is not about to crash. There's been some concern lately that the housing market is headed for a crash, and given some of the affordability challenges in the housing market, along with a lot of recession talk in the media, it's easy enough to understand why that worry has come up. But the data clearly shows today's market is very different than it was before the housing crash in 2008. Rest assured, this is not a repeat of what happened back then. Here's why. First, it's harder to get a loan now. It was much easier to get a home loan during the lead up to the 2008 housing crisis than it is today. Back then, banks had different lending standards. Yeah, like it was called fog a mirror. If you could fog the mirror, you're approved. That was about the lending standards, making it easy for just about anyone to qualify for a home loan or refinance an existing one. As a result, lending institutions took on much greater risk in both person and the mortgage products offered. That led to mass defaults, foreclosures, and falling prices. Things are different today as purchasers face increasingly higher standards from mortgage companies. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, the graph we're showing shows the Mortgage Bankers Association show this difference. The lower the number, the harder it is to get a mortgage. The higher the number, the easier it is to get a mortgage. And you can see right now that number is pretty low. It's it's a little bit lower even than it was in 2010. It is hard to get a mortgage right now. We're going to talk about why. Unemployment recovered faster this time. While the pandemic caused unemployment to spike over the last couple of years, the jobless rate has already recovered back to pre-pandemic levels. And again, I've got a graph for you. Josh is going to show that things were different during the Great Recession, as a large number of people stayed unemployed for a much longer time back then. And you can see where those numbers are as well. The length of the crisis is different than last time. Time it took for unemployment rate to recover to pre-crisis percentage. Easy for me to say. And you can see that there. The recovery time, this helps the housing market because so many people are employed today. There's less risk of homeowners facing hardship and defaulting on their loans. This helps put today's housing market on a stronger footing and reduces the risk of more foreclosures coming onto the market. There are far fewer homes for sale today. There were also too many homes for sale during the housing crisis, many of which were short sales and foreclosures. And that caused the prices to fall dramatically. Today, there's a shortage of inventory available overall, primarily due to years of underbuilding homes. Got another graph for you. The National Association of Realtors, NAR, and the Federal Reserve to show how the month's supply of homes available now compares to the crash. Today, unsold inventory sits at just 2.6 months supply. There just isn't enough inventory on the market for home prices to come crashing down like they did in 2008. And I'm going to submit that number is probably overstated at 2.6 months because some of those are already in contract. Equity levels are near record highs. That low inventory of homes for sale helped keep upward pressure on home prices over the course of the pandemic. As a result, homeowners today have near record amounts of equity. Another graph. Americans have record amounts. Last number I saw was about 58% equity on average throughout the country. 58% equity. Equity puts them in a much stronger position compared to the Great Recession. Molly Bozell, principal economist at CoreLogic, explains, quote, most homeowners are well positioned to weather a shallow recession. More than a decade of home price increases have given homeowners record amounts of equity, which protects them from foreclosure should they fall behind on their mortgage payments, unquote. Bottom line, got a lot of graphs showing you that any fears you may have that today's housing market is headed for a crash, most current data clearly shows that today's market is nothing like it was last time. That is the real-time real estate segment, again, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Great app. If you don't have that app, shame on you. It's free. and it monitors your credit, it monitors your budget, it monitors your assets, it monitors your real estate. And 97% of the homes on the market nationwide are reflected there. rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. Jay Burris is with us. Visit Anaheim. And, you know, I don't know if this is fitting or not, Jay, but talking sports, and I've got absolutely no athletic ability. The extent of my athletic ability is sitting in the stands and 4-ounce curls. That would be my wine glass. So I don't know. Are you more athletic?
I grew up playing sports, and I've grown up attending sporting events and would travel for sporting events. So that's been a big part of my life, a big part of my kids' lives.
I played them. I just wasn't good.
So we had a study. We had a study to see would people travel to see their favorite teams. Being the home to 2 professional sports teams, we thought that this could be a great driver. Yeah. And so we did a study and found over 35% would actually go out of the country to see their favorite teams. And about 45%, or around that 45% would do that. And about 35% already had plans to build a trip around seeing their favorite team play. So it's a large number of visitors.
Say that again, because I'm slow. 35% would go out of the country.
45% would go out of the country to see their favorite team.
Okay.
And 35% they have specifically planned a vacation around seeing their favorite team. So with all the different teams coming in to play the Angels or play the Ducks, we want to capitalize on that potential visitation of those sports fans. And I think we're going to see some great success. We got a couple of promotions in baseball and a couple in hockey that are coming up. So it's great to see. I know with the hockey, anytime a Canadian team is here, there are a lot of Canadians in our hotels. And so we're doing a promotion with Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton and their stadiums and their arenas in their cities to promote travel to Anaheim. We'll be giving away trips. We'll have signage within there. We'll have announcements, and really a great way to promote travel to come to Anaheim to see their favorite team, hopefully lose to the Ducks. That's not in the promo. And then with baseball, we've been doing some things with some audiences in maybe our feeder markets, the farm clubs, like the Salt Lake Bees. We did a promotion there, gave away some trips, had a great season-long promotion, but also had one at spring training out in Tempe, where we know they're baseball fans. We know they love to follow their baseball, and now we're giving them a reason to come to Anaheim. I think we're going to see some great results of that. Anytime we have even a local team, let's say the Kings come to town, or if the Giants were to come play the Angels, we see a flood of fans from the Bay Area or from LA or from wherever coming in to see those teams. So it's I wouldn't say a new market for us, but one we're going to try to capitalize on, because we know they spend money, they buy their souvenirs, and they represent their teams well. So,
well, the beauty of it is it's nice when you hear all kinds of studies that are done, and sometimes you wonder what's the purpose, right? And in this one, you definitely found a good purpose for it, right? You did this study, now you know that people are willing to travel. Now you know you invest some money in those areas to bring them, and you know what the return on investment is going to be, or
exactly.
an idea of it.
Have an idea of that return, but also there's some key, marquee events that we'll probably be going after in the future once OC Vibe is
Could
complete.
you possibly bring us a World Series?
If we could, we would. That one's a little harder to bring, but that I've been in a host city with a World Series before, and it was about $1 million to the city with each game. So that would be great. Angels, I strongly encourage you to go to the World Series. So
I'll tell you a funny story about that real quick. So when the Angels were in the World Series, I actually that was back in the day when they didn't have nearly as many season ticket holders. So we had season tickets and eight tickets. And that in those days, they gave you an extra ticket for every one that you had just to fill it up. And we were able to, there was so many people from out of town coming to the games that we actually were able to sell our tickets and pay for my son's bar mitzvah just by selling our extra tickets to the out of towners. And the reason I knew they were out of towners was one gentleman, I met him at Orange County Airport. He flew in, paid me for the tickets, and went back to Phoenix. And another ones we did at the hotels over by the convention center. So it's amazing how much people are coming in, and they just, with or without tickets, they're coming to the city.
Well, and now with our development in hotels, with our 4 Diamond hotels that have come in, now the teams that are visiting, even the teams, are staying in Anaheim as opposed to going other places within the county. So that's a first step in capitalizing on this whole sports market.
You might be giving away some secrets there, Jay.
Uh-oh. Go see the team.
Yeah,
Your favorite Four Divers Hotel.
If you want to find out where these teams are staying, maybe we don't know where. We're not gonna put them out like that.
Oh no.
But you know something, that's a lot of fun. I've gone to, being a lifelong Angel fan, so I've gone to watch them in Palm Springs when they had spring training there, and I've gone to watch them in Tempe. It's a great time. The players are so much more relaxed. At those times.
I've taken my family out there for years, out to see spring training and catch many different teams. But the Angels Stadium was very unique because the only team in it, Diablo Stadium. It's a great time to go out to Tempe and cheer on your team, but then come back home and when their fans come in,
night.
There you go.
bring a lot of people in. It's a great time. I mean, sports. You know, I'm a sports junkie, even though I'm not good at it. I'm still a sports junkie, and it's wonderful to see that you found a way to capitalize on what you're learning.
It is, and it's, I mentioned last time the amateur sports market, but the professional fan, or the fans that watch professional sports, are a huge market because they have money and they're going to travel to see their team, especially baseball. Their team will be here for several nights in a row. Therefore, they're staying for an extended period. So that's a great sport to go to come to Anaheim and watch the Angels play.
It'll be interesting to see with the people that are in Salt Lake, and when the players get promoted to Anaheim, does that have any effect or an additional effect? Because in some of the smaller stadiums, you almost feel like players, right? And when you're in the minor leagues and things like that, because they're not on as big a pedestals as they are, when they've made the pros.
Well, don't forget, Mike Trout came from Salt Lake Bees, so they
Right.
still have banners of him in their stadium. So he's a big deal. But yes, the minor league teams are very friendly and easier to approach. But
Yeah. So and that's like it's a good time. So glad to see all the sports stuff that you guys are doing. It just gives us a better understanding. I think what you're doing in Anaheim can really be helpful around the country, because so many of us look and say, okay, as a taxpayer, do I really want to pay for a stadium on the taxpayer's dime? Because you say it's all such big money. Most of us can't fathom that kind of money. But when you're starting to quantify, hey, look at these jobs and look at these opportunity for people. And I've shared many times, I've got a son that works at Disney, and you look and you say, how many because I grew up in the shadow of Disneyland. How many people do you know that started their career as a custodian or a ride operator and learned? And we started to talk about that in the last segment, about how there's so many places for growth and opportunity and learning once you're in the leisure and hospitality industry.
right, there's many executives within Anaheim and Orange County who I promise you started at Disneyland working there. But there's some great success story. Our former general manager at the Anaheim Convention Center started as a dishwasher at the Anaheim Convention Center. So stories like that. The former head of U.S. Travel Association started as a lifeguard at a golf course. So it is, great upward mobility. I started at a golf course myself, working at a bag room, cleaning clubs. So it's quick advancement and all different areas that you can go in, as I mentioned before. Whether you stay in the sports area with sports marketing, you go into sales, services, communications, public relations, technology, accounting, all that's available within the tourism market. So the world is your oyster.
What brings more to the community? I mean, because I know you do so much with the convention center also. Is there a bigger focus on the sports and the things that does, or is a bigger focus on the events that are coming to town, or do you have to just split your attention?
Well, it's both, but you really can't put all your eggs in one basket. So with obviously Disneyland is the driver and will always be the driver here. So we focus on a lot of other things. I like to say that there's a place just outside of Disneyland called Anaheim, and it's our job to help people to discover that. And whether it's our sports teams and those interests, our convention center, whether it's our craft breweries, our retail outlets, all those things contribute to visitors coming to our city and spending dollars.
Interesting. We come back, I want to talk about craft breweries. Is that another area that people are traveling to? We'll talk to Jay Burris about that when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. More with Jay Burris. Visit Anaheim. I don't know that I don't think we're going to get to our guide to No, Josh is telling me no, so I'm not even going to talk about it. We're just going to talk to Jay when we come back. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. March Madness might be over, but the game is still on for home buyers. Don't let misrepresentation of home appreciation outlook get you down. The FHFA says that despite the Fed doubling interest rates, home prices are just down less than 1% from their peak last June. What are you waiting for? It's time to shoot your shot and start your home buying journey with RSRmoney.com. They will guide you through every step, making the process as smooth as a three-pointer. Visit RSRmoney.com now and make your dream home a reality.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Well, let's go back to our conversation. Jay Burris with Visit Anaheim is with us. Gotta love the idea of visitations, vacations. You know, it's if you're a younger family, now is pretty much that time of year. When you're old like me, you can go on vacation almost anytime. I still remember the younger days when, you know, we had to plan vacations around spring break and Christmas break and summertime when the kids were out of school. And, you know, now we're just about getting into that. But there's so much more, Jay. Now there's a lot of vacation stuff that are even for the seasoned people. I don't say old, right? Seasoned.
And they even come up with great names for them, such as Beercation.
Beercation, that's a new one. Tell me about Beercation. I haven't heard that one. I've heard Staycation.
Right. We had another study done and finding out if people would travel to try craft breweries in other locations, and they will. So we put together some things with the breweries are really doing great here in Anaheim. We will have 20 later this year in Anaheim alone, largest number in Orange County. And so people will travel to taste all those beers, and they're located very close together, so you could walk around and visit them all. But, you know, combine that with the sports tourism we were talking about earlier, it's a great combination. So they really started a few years ago, making it easier for craft breweries to open up in Anaheim, and they've really boomed since then. So we've got some great ones that are making a name for themselves around the country. And so that'll be a growing market for us of the craft brewery market, which we love it. And we know people will travel to visit wineries. Why won't they travel to visit the craft breweries?
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you're a beer person, and I know a whole lot of people that are, right? You go to check them all out and pick your choices. Are they the people that are coming for sporting events? Are they going to the breweries before the events as well?
Absolutely. In fact, so much so that we created what's called a brew pass, which is something you can download on your mobile device, and basically will list all the different participating breweries that are either offering a discount or a competition to visit as many as possible, win a beer stein at the end of completion of that. So it's really a gamification for beer drinkers.
Are you able to tie that in with your the promotions you were talking about in other cities that are trying to attract people here? Like you mentioned, like Vancouver, say, just for an example. And I'm not looking for specifics.
Absolutely. That's part of our pitch when we go into the different marketplaces, that they know about Disneyland. So we'll tell them what's happening with Disneyland and Disneyland Forward, but also while you're here, there's these other things that are going on. So let's extend their stay to not just be a couple of nights, get their reservation to Disneyland and then extend it and enjoy the breweries or enjoy a hockey game or a baseball game. So really rounding it out, the whole experience of a vacation to Anaheim.
A lot of good stuff right there. I mean, you think about some of those things, because you could probably go to a brewery or go to several breweries on a tighter budget than going an extra day at Disneyland. We're not saying that you don't want to go to, I mean, everyone's going to Disneyland. But I think the other thing is that some of the things that you're doing might ruin one of the things that I had so many years when I was traveling a lot. I used to tell people I'm from Anaheim. What's Anaheim? Right. Then I'd say Disneyland. Well, oh, yeah. We know Disneyland.
Yeah.
Right. But now with what you're doing, people the name recognition's got to be going tremendous.
Beer drinkers are a pretty tight-knit group. So around the country, they talk about the ones they've sampled around the country. And now Anaheim is on that list. So that's fantastic. And the great thing about going to all the breweries, you can't drive home. So you need to stay in a hotel, and we'll fill our hotel rooms with these brew fans.
You know, and that's a smart thing. I think that, and I don't know this to be fact because I've never done the study, but I've done a sample size of one. Right. So we go to wineries a lot, and we're using the public transportation just because, you know, you don't want to be out there and be stupid.
Exactly.
Right. Or some of the facilities, and I don't know, maybe that's part of what the breweries are doing, is they have special offerings for the designated drivers. Right. Because we want to make sure that everybody that comes to Anaheim also goes safely and stays safely.
Right. And we want you to be smart. And there's really a health kick continues to go on of limiting yourself and some of the intake. And so that's good to see. But, you know, nothing ties in the sports like a cold beer. So enjoy the sports here, enjoy our craft breweries, and have a great time.
Are the craft breweries, the right word's probably not infiltrating, but participating at the stadiums? Are they getting a presence at the stadiums?
They are. They sure are. Brewery X is now in Angel Stadium, as well as, I believe, the Honda Center. And even when we went out to spring training in Tempe, they had a presence out there. So they're starting to expand, and they're great partners for the city.
It's nice to see that, because I know some of the folks over at Brewery X. I know that they love the city, and you know the name recognition again that they bring, because you got to go to Brewery X in Anaheim.
Yeah, we're even seeing some of the conventions that come in. They want a local flavor, so they will bring in those local breweries to their convention. That's what they're going to serve. And we have a couple of breweries who will craft a special bottle for that convention, so that when they're here, they're drinking a beer that's labeled for their convention. So it's pretty cool.
Wow.
And tailor it really to the group. And that's great to see them getting involved in our convention market as well.
So obviously you guys have to be coordinating some of that, because I mean, a guy at Brewery X who's 10 miles from the convention center probably doesn't know everything that's going on in the convention center until somebody's promoting that or letting them know.
That's why they're great partners with us, and we can provide that information about what's coming into the city, what shows are coming up, some great conventions coming up. We've had a great start to this year, and so continue to our job is to tie all that together. If you're here for a convention, here's the other things you can do. If you're here for Disneyland, here's some other things you can also do. If you're here for the beer, here's some other things you can do. But that's our job, is keep our partners informed on what's coming up and how they might take advantage of those visitors coming in to spend their money.
So if somebody's looking to do a convention, I know we only got about a minute left, right, Josh? If they're looking to put together a larger convention, and I don't know what large even means, but do they call the facilities themselves, or do they call Visit Anaheim?
They will call Visit Anaheim. We control the books at the convention center 12 months and out. So if you're usually planning a larger group more than a year out, so they have to come to Visit Anaheim, and we'll find the best spot for them within the convention center, the hotels that match with it, match their transportation needs they may have. They may be looking for a venue to host an event, a private event. in the evenings of the event, or just anything they need within our destination. We're the source to go to on that.
So it's like a one-stop shopping.
Absolutely. Visit Anaheim.org.
Great information. Visit Anaheim.org. Go visit our friends at Visit Anaheim. We love the partnership we have with them. We love the city. I'm actually kidded a lot because I've lived in 2 zip codes my entire life, and both of them are Anaheim. So it's been a long time. I've seen a lot of growth here. So it's a fun city to be in. There's a lot to do. You can never run out. And come spend some time here, even if you're from the local areas. So join us. And as always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Sean and Josh for engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990 or RonSiegelRadio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.